All right, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're tuning in from today for the September LED webinar featuring Dr. Doral Dalal speaking about lean and AI. So I think this is pretty interesting. Obviously, there's been a whole lot of conversation about AI lately. So I think this is an interesting spin on how to make lean and AI work together for the benefit of the organization and the people that work in it. So what I'm going to do is turn it over to you, Dr. Doral. And
so this Lean AI, Humanistic Integration of Lean and AI, this is a book which Beth and I have co-authored, and it'll be coming out probably within the next 10 days or so, or maybe 5 days, I'm not sure. So we're very excited. This has been a work in process since last year. And unfortunately, Beth cannot attend today, but I will try to walk you through. This part of this has also been presented at the World Conference last year or this year, Lean Conference, and the feedback was amazing. So hopefully you guys will feel the same and slightly updated. But for those who do not know me, I'm actually the chair-elect of the Lean Division. So very excited. I've been actually associated with the ASQ for almost last 20 plus years. I started with the Lean Division. I became the chair of the HDNL division for 3 years. And so, trying to really serve our membership best we can. So, and again, thank you for Manny. He does an awesome job with the webinars. So I'm here just to kind of help him out here. So I'm the CEO of Pinnacle Process Solutions. I've been a senior trainer for a lot of different companies, but I've also been an executive at several industries. I'm a member of Forbes Coaching Council. As I said, I'm the chair-elect. I do a lot of international speaking. I've done over 100 keynote, including for the government of UK, UAE. So I'm the winner of Global Award for Outstanding Contribution to Leadership and Quality. I have, 7 books so far. This will be the 7th book, and this will be the 3rd book which comes out for me this year. So I have 2 more books which were released earlier this year. So I am very blessed with a lot of accolades, which really are just, crumbs in the sand to say we're going in the right direction. So I don't put a lot of value on those except, hey, maybe doing something right. So I have several certifications and degrees, as you can see here. And next week, hopefully, I'll be done with my 2nd doctorate. So I'm just looking forward to getting done with that. So wish me luck, my oral defense next week. Excuse me. In this session, you will learn to understand Lean and AI integration and the impact on operational excellence, enhancing the traditional Lean tools using AI, and apply the Lean AI approach to continuous improvement. So I have one case study which if you want to do it with me, if you want me to just show you, that's fine. So let's make this more interactive. Can you put some gaps in the Lean technology as you see today? Just give me at least 5 major gaps. Analysis is manual and time consuming, error proofing, committing to resources, very true, expensive automation costs. Hey, upper management commitment, these are definitely pretty major concerns, right? Getting participation on the board. So you see that Lean has quite a few issues, which whoever has really implemented Lean, I think one of the major things is it's very human focused, right? The impact of how the human beings are going to be implementing this or not implementing this, right? See, the thing is that we human beings have an issue where it's repetitive tasks. We're not very good with keeping up the things. That's why the SQDC boards and other things which we put together are not maintained that well. 5S is not maintained that well. So I'm getting some really good comments from you guys. Thank you. That's awesome. So we can see that we have a lot of gaps in the Lean technology. Now, how many of you are actually using AI? Just do a yes, Y for yes, and for no on your chat. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So we have mix of yeses and nos, which is what I expected. Guys, if you're not using AI, we're really going to be left behind. AI is a discovery which is as big as discovering fire. And he knows something about, technology. So when he's saying that it's like finding fire again, obviously humanity has changed tremendously due to that, right? We have changed tremendously due to fire. So just imagine what AI can do. But AI has some gaps, right? Currently, AI has some gaps because technically AI is just 2 years old. Actually, let me take a step back. I don't know if you're aware that the Turing test actually started in the 1950s. The reason it took this long for AI to become mainstream is because of the computation power. The amount of power it takes is tremendous. In fact, Sam Altman recently said just writing please and thank you on AI is wasting millions of dollars a year. See, the amount of power AI takes is tremendous. That's why, they have entire, kind of centers which have to kind of provide that power. So apart from that, what are the gaps in AI you see today? Anyone? Security, excellent. Hallucination, I love that. Oh man, it lies like anything, right? Integration, governance, trust, security, alignment, hallucinations, yes. Falsehoods, yeah. Excellent. Validation, misleading if not properly, yeah. Correct. Copyright infringements, excellent. So bias, yes, it depends on who programs it, right? What data you have supplied to it. Deep fakes and misinformation, yes. Guys, you guys are on target. So now you see that data protection is another one, very good. So you see that AI has some gaps. But when you marry those two, you're going to get something very, very powerful. And that's what we are going to get at. So again, this is on AI technology. The 2025 reality check. AI is compressing 10 years of expertise paths to 10 weeks. What's happening now? AI beats doctors at diagnosis. AI beats lawyers at contract review. AI is beating coders at debugging. AI is beating analysis at pattern recognition. Will you compete with AI or conduct it? That is the question. What are you going to do? Is it going to be your coworker? Is it going to be your mentor? Or will you have to compete with AI? That is a question on everyone's mind. And, I did a TED talk on AI and neuroscience, how it will affect our brains just last week. In fact, if you connect with me on LinkedIn, there is a really cool podcast which is going to be posted today on my LinkedIn channel, and it is on AI and the future of humanity with AI. I think you guys are going to love it. It's just 30 minutes, but it really goes in depth into what AI can do to us and what can we do to safeguard ourselves. So here is a small video clip of how to protect yourself against AI.
Job displacement. Every job will be affected. Some jobs will be lost, some jobs will be created, but every job will be affected. And immediately, it's unquestionable, you're not going to lose your job to an AI, but you're going to lose your job to somebody who uses AI.
Very profound. Very profound is that you can lose your job to someone who knows AI. And how many of you feel is a threat to humanity? How many of you will delegate to it that can provide me? Okay. How many of you feel it's a threat to humanity? No? Yes? Yes. Again, see, it's a mix of things. It depends. Very good. It depends. Might be. Define threat. Very good question. It's a tool. See, the threat is that AI is so superior. Do you know at 2 years old, AI has the IQ of Einstein? So just imagine when it grows up and how it grows up. If it grows up to be a good citizen, then we are going to be lucky and we can work with it. But if we do not raise this child in the right way, it's going to be a threat. A human being who is not raised in the right way has the wrong friends, has the wrong, influence coming on them. If AI is starting to use for defense, which is going to happen, it is going to take a wrong turn. There's no doubt about it. And that is where the threat to humanity is huge. Also, as I said, there is a huge impact on our critical thinking, on our brain structure, on humanity. So I think when the TEDx comes out, I've given many case studies and a deep research on this. So you guys will understand why I'm worried about it. But again, I'm very much pro AI, but I'm also worried about how it's going to impact. That is why this book is about focusing AI on the positive impact on humanity. That is what we are trying to do using AI. So, okay, someone is, godfather of AI. I would love to see that. Thank you for sharing that. So, importance of lean AI addresses the gaps in lean and AI technologies, represents the future of operational management and organization development. So, drives significant operational excellence and cultural transformation. This is the future of operational excellence. I'm not over-exaggerating it. I'm just saying plain truth. This is the future of operational excellence. Okay, cultures will transform, everything will transform, and this is what you will have to do is marry the current technologies with AI. Enhance efficiency, reduces waste, fosters innovation, empowers employees to focus on value-added tasks, fosters a culture of continuous improvement and innovation. This synergy equips organizations to respond swiftly to market changes. This is what it will do. It will make you into someone who can kind of change direction on a dime. And that's important for every market coming forward. Enhances data-driven, accurate decision-making. And obviously, growth and profitability will come with it if it is applied correctly. So this is why Lean AI has been created. So what is the overview of Lean AI? Obviously, as the name suggests, it's Lean and AI. So we are kind of, it's marriage of two amazing technologies, right? I'm really a big proponent of Lean. As obviously, I wouldn't be the chair of Lean Division if I didn't believe in it, and been very honored to be having the Shingo Model, which was given to me by the son of Dr. Shingo. So that experience has been really precious to me. In fact, if you go on my YouTube, you will see an interview where I talk to him about his dad's legacy. It's just, I think, a 5-minute interview, but it is so amazing to see how he remembers his dad. Unfortunately, Ryutsu Shingo, who is the son, is no more, but he was a dear friend, and he was really a humble soul. And we learn a lot about legacy of the past, of why Shingo was key to creating Lean. So that is an important topic. AI, obviously, as we said, it's as good as finding fire again. If we are not using it, we are making a mistake. So when you marry these two, you are getting a proven approach for continuous improvement through waste reduction. Plus, you automate the routine tasks. This is where the power comes in, is you automate things which human beings are not good at, you get the best of both worlds. And this is what AI is the best at, is to automate routine tasks. And profound impact of this integration on organization culture. So you are going to start seeing a huge impact on the culture of companies. So the importance of Lean AI, you cannot look at Lean AI as one whole piece. What we've done is, in the book, we've broken into what is the strategic angle of Lean AI, what is the operational angle, and what is the tactical angle. So if you break it up, it's much easier to see where can you use these tools in which category. Because once you are able to see that, it makes a lot of sense, and your application of these tools become much easier. So now one of the things which we also talk about is the Shingo model. How many of you are familiar with Shingo model? Power BI is a great tool, yes. Perfect. So Shingo Model, a lot of you are, in fact, forward for one of the forwards for this book is written by the chair of the Shingo committee. You know, he's the director of Shingo Institute. So the importance of Lean AI, we know that these are the key elements of the Shingo model. In the center is the culture, and then we have the principles, systems, tools, and results. And each are feeding into each other, right? These are not standalone. These are all feeding into, so you see it's a give and take on both sides. And culture is not by itself. Everything we do is feeding into the culture. So that is why I like this model a lot, because lean without culture is just a shell without anything inside. So lean is much more than just tools, and it's more of a mindset than a tool set. So importance of lean AI is the culture of excellence, if you want to put it here, and the customer value. How do you deliver that? So the Shingo models gives you a delivery mechanism for that. That is what it is. It's just a bridge between your culture and how do you send the value to the customer. So what are the two humanistic pillars of culture of Shingo? There are quite a few elements of Shingo. What are the two things which focus on the human side? Anyone? Take a guess. There are many principles, many guidelines of Shingo model. There are two of them which are focused on humans. Which are those? Humility, excellent. Empowerment, good. Respect, very good. You got it. So it's actually respect and humility. Respect and humility are the two. Now, when you combine the lean AI, you will need two more pillars. Can anyone tell me what those two extra pillars will be? Validation. Okay. What else? Learning, adoption, ethics. Excellent, Megan. Trust in CI, culture, keeping human in the loop, power ethics, learning. Excellent. You guys there are two things which will be very critical when we get into the phase of lean AI. That will be ethics, as you correctly pointed out, and privacy. See, with AI, your privacy will be almost non-existent. So leaders of the future will have to ensure that your privacy is maintained. Confidentiality, privacy, those things, HR will be really involved with that or will need to get involved. So even the models of the past will have to start changing. That is very important. So integration of AI into lean tools. So what do you think, as from what we have discussed, what would be some advantages of integrating lean and AI for your respective organization? Speed, faster learning, productivity, improve productivity, predictive adaptability, improve quality, broad knowledge base, very good, excellent. You guys are absolutely on the right track. So, leveraging documents, different perspective, reduced turnaround time, excellent. These are all the advantages. So now you see why we are combining these two technologies. It's not rocket science, right? So what will be the advantages to your organization of Lean AI? So we'll do this, and then I'm going to get into case studies, a couple of case studies for you. Revolutionary shift in operational excellence and organization culture. So this is not a small shift. We are technically industry 5.0. Okay, 4.0 is long gone. AI has ushered in industry 5.0 revolution. And that shift is way different than what you have seen in the four revolutions. Obviously, the four industrial revolutions were quite seismic, right? Computers coming in was quite seismic. AI will totally blow that away completely. And I'm, again, not exaggerating it. It will provide predictive insights, enable real-time optimization. This is the key, is the real time. Right now, everything we do in lean or everything is reactive. Nothing is real time. This is the biggest advantage you're going to have, the real time optimization. And the way systems, see, AI is getting into a self-teaching mechanism. In future, you will not need a human in the loop. You are having self-learning systems which are optimizing on its own. That is called agentic AI. Agentic AI is something which will, without human intervention, not only interpret the problem, can actually resolve the issue without anyone coming in. So thank you, Lee. You're saying very true. That is what is going to be the key differentiator for us. Numerous benefits: enhance predictive capabilities, facilitates dynamic adjustments, liberates human resources. This is huge, right? I mean, human beings doing repetitive tasks no longer need to be in that role. They need to do more creative stuff, use their brain in a different way. So it literally liberates human resources, augments decision-making processes. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't liberate from the organization. They are staying within the organization. But if there is a strategy to maintain the human force there, but put them in different roles, which are more human-centric, then an organization will really be very successful. So this heralds a new area of operational efficiency, agility, and innovation, human-centric innovation. And it will reshape the future of work, especially with smart factories and what is coming our way on that. You're thinking it will take 20 years, 10 years? No, it's here. Believe me, a lot of big organizations are already doing it. I'll show you a couple of case studies. It is not far away. It is here. So don't think that this is a futuristic model which will come in the future. No, it is absolutely here. I'll give you a case study. I do a lot of consulting all over the world. So there was a US-based organization operating a manufacturing plant in Latin America. There were significant safety issues resulting in near misses, accidents, near death incidents, and literally fatalities there. Inside the plant, there were trip hazards, spills, equipment-related injuries. The culture was such. Outside the plant, violent gang members were stealing things, terrorizing employees in parking lots. As I said, there was also a fatality, a stabbing, which happened. So there were two options this company had: to either shut it down completely or try to solve this problem. My company was called in to take a look at that, do an assessment, and if possible, solve these issues. I'll give you a few things we did. So safety solutions, there were many tripping. They were just leaving things in the center of the aisle and walking away. So basically, you see that LiDAR, we were able to, and alerts the person walking in. This can be a human being or a forklift coming in. Instead of running over things or tripping over hazards, this can catch and alert people. The alert can be a audible alarm, light, with multiple safety solutions. There were a lot of liquid which is leaking onto the floor. So we were able to kind of put in a lot of solutions for alerting, real-time monitoring of this. Previously, they would only know once everything is, the level has reached very high, and then the alarm would sound and it was of no use because the damage was done. They had to shut down that part of the plant. Now with real time, as soon as a little bit of liquid is sensed, you can actually prevent it. Alarm sounds and we can solve it. In fact, there is also a preventative model we put in where, based on the data, you could actually tell if there is going to be a leak or not, and immediately it would take self-corrective action. Equipment hazards. There were a lot of people who have lost fingers and everything in their equipment. So what we did was we created a curtain, a safety curtain, so that anyone who puts their hand or any part of the body goes near any equipment, it basically shuts down. So this is very important to look at. What this does is real-time monitoring. Also, there is like sections, right? There is a zones. So if you cross a certain zone, it gives you an alarm that, hey, don't go any further than that. And if you go further, just like a car, right? Reversing a car, you see those lines, the yellow, green, and red. So as soon as you cross the yellow, machine shuts down. Safety, suspicious packages hazard. Even outside, we were having thermal cameras, not only monitoring any packages or anything for safety, but also we could read license plates, and cars which didn't belong there were not allowed to come. So how much money was needed to succeed? Really, it's not that expensive considering shutting down a plant. Just imagine that. That would have been, absolutely, kind of extremely expensive. So comparatively, it was not a very expensive thing, and it didn't take, it was more technology based, and we didn't need a lot of people. It was me and 3 other people who did this. So let's do a quick workshop. How many of you have used Claude or any ChatGPT or any other tools? Which one are you comfortable with? Anyone? Which one are you comfortable with? GPT? Okay. So look at this data. I'm going to put this data in the chat. I want you to do an affinity diagram. Everyone knows what an affinity diagram is, right? So I have this plain data. I want you to take this data and create an affinity diagram. Okay, Grok goes crazy. Do you know what an affinity diagram is? So this is raw data. This is unstructured data. We don't know where this data is, what it's trying to show us. So what we are trying to see is, what is this data for? How do we use it in an AI model? And affinity diagram is one way to do it. So I'll give you a few minutes to try out and see if you can type in an affinity diagram and see if that is possible. The data is in the chat. You can copy paste it. Yes, related terms grouped together. Let's see what happens is you don't know. The big data can be anything. This is called unstructured data. You don't know what this data is from. So an affinity diagram actually is the foundation of AI. The foundation of AI is taking unstructured data into structured data. So I want you to practice this. And so, for example, let's see. So if I could look at Claude, anyone was able to do it? Create an affinity diagram. So let me share my screen. I'm not sure if you are able to see this. So keep trying it out on your own. But when you put this into, so I use Claude. It's another, just like ChatGPT, it's a little more, I prefer that sometimes. Perplexity is another one. But this is the diagram you will get out of it. Look at the power. So now we know that this is engine components. This is a fuel air system. This is a control interface. You can see my screen, correct? So it is able to break it up into different parts. And that is so cool that it is able to take that model which you have, where you didn't know what that data is for. Now you know, wow, this is a motorcycle affinity diagram. It's a motorcycle. So what happens next? So technically, AI has structured data and unstructured data. So when you have unstructured data, the key thing is to make it into a structured data. So if you're able to do that, then this would be a structured data information, right? So this is what comes up. This is through ChatGPT. This is through Claude. So I've tried it both ways. Now, what is the advantage of this? The advantage of this is that you are able to create a model out of it. So in future, any new parts which come in will automatically go to the right place. That is the power of AI. So you are able to now have a model for yourself where this data will be populated. It knows This is an engine part, so I have to put it into the engine category. This is what structured information will become. So this is why this is so powerful, is that you're able to then take all your lean tools. When I did my workshop at the WCQI, I actually taught how to do a value stream mapping using AI. It's very powerful. If you've never done that, it's an extremely powerful exercise. So this is, I'm showing you a very simple tool right now, but you can do many, many advanced RCA. I've done a lot of tools using AI. And I have a lot of other case studies where we could look at. But for the sake of this, we went through the theory of lean AI. We saw that lean has some gaps. We saw that AI has some gaps, and why that marriage is so critical for us to have. Once we marry those two, the power it will bring to our culture, to our businesses will be just phenomenal. And I've shown you a actual case study. I showed you what I've done. I've showed you how to do it yourself. So as I said, this is the book coming out. If you enter this code 2SAFLY3 at the checkout, you can get a 20% discount. Again, I'm not trying to sell my book. You don't have to buy it. In case you're interested, this is kind of a gift. It's not from me, it's from the publisher themselves. Okay, so here is a QR code in case you want to look at it. Okay, so again, it's not yet out. It's going to come out, I think, September 15th or something. If you have any questions for either Beth or myself, my email is here. Her email is here, and then my LinkedIn is here. Feel free to send me a connection request. As I said, you'll see a really powerful podcast which will come out. I've done a lot of other podcasts and TV shows. So I also, by the way, have a TV show called The Superconscious Leader. So you'll have also access to that through my LinkedIn. So I am done opening up for questions. You guys have been a fantastic crowd. Very interactive. I really loved it. Your comments were dead on, so love it. Absolutely. So many open for any questions they have. So I think a lot of them are now doing the data analysis very well. Even ChatGPT does it very well. I'm not very, fan of the ChatGPT 5. I think 4.0 was much better, but I like Perplexity. Perplexity is a very good tool. Claude is a very good tool for research, but these are all LLM models, so more language-based models, but it does a decent job of data analysis. Gemini has come up with something called GEMS, where you can put in and do repeatable data kind of work. The tools, see, here is a key thing. Do not get focused on the tool itself. The key thing is you need to know what you want. So there are 3 C's you have to remember. One is the context. What is the context you're trying to do? Clarity. Okay, you want to be very clear on what the output is going to be. And then, are you going to coexist with it? Are you going to co-author that? Just depending on AI to do your job is not going to cut it. You have to kind of co-author the job. So if you are able to do these 3, then you'll be very successful in the AI implementation. You understand? So I think a lot of these tools do very good data analysis. Now, obviously, if you want graphs and charts and all, if you want to do with Excel, Numerus.ai is a very good tool. Numerus.ai, it's meant for Excel-based data. So that could be used. And then Tableau is another one, competitor of Power BI. I've used both of them, and they're very good, I think. Yeah, important to know the problem and have a clear vision of, what you're looking for is very critical when you use AI.
That's
Any
interesting.
other questions?
I just looked up Numerus AI.
I don't know if it's between you and I when we both. Okay, they're saying Manny is echoing.
So I was using it. Oh, so it's not.
That's okay. Any other questions? Feel free to email me if you have any questions. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Any questions you have, I'll be very happy to answer. No question is a crazy question, so feel free. Okay. Manny, I'm going to close it out. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
What are you finding that people?
I mean, like you gave some use examples of how to use it in a plant with lean and to suspicious packages. I kind of like that one. That seems like there's a lot more than just a liquid sensor involved.
Sure.
So I thought that was a great use of it. Any thoughts? Is it going to help personal productivity more than?
Absolutely. I have another case study where, and again, my book is full. Every chapter has multiple case studies from different industries. But the thing is, like if you're doing manufacturing, you can have a camera on top of your table and the system is actually guiding you step by step of what to do. And if you make an error, it is telling you, hey, they'll send you an alarm saying this was not the right step. So Pocoyo to the whole different level. It's real-time Pocoyo, and that is happening already. Okay, so that is a big application. Using a AI camera, you can actually even do a complete value stream map without having to really draw it out. It does it for you. Okay, so these are some advances which are coming our way, which will be totally mind-blowing.
Anybody we should be looking for to follow, or any places to
connect with me? I think
learn
I
more?
would really highly recommend listening to the podcast, which it was with Jerry Deng. He's from Vancouver, amazing young kid. He wanted to know more about AI, and he has a podcast called Sweatpants to Suits. So this is for people who are trying to go into the next level, and that podcast has really gained a lot of this. So then in my TV show, Superconscious Leader, I talk a lot about AI too in many different episodes. So,
They want to know more about the AI VSM.
yeah, so that is a workshop I do. If you're interested, just ping me. We can walk through that.
Somebody else asked a question about, do you have to train new models in your case study, or do you use pre-trained?
You can do either. Some of them are pre-trained. So most of these LMs are pre-trained. Sometimes you do have to train it. Like VSM does a great job with current state. It is not yet doing a good job with the future state. So there you may have to train the model a little better.
Well, that's a concern too for some companies with regard to privacy. They certainly don't want their stuff out there. So I would imagine that you can't really do a pre-trained model. I mean, I don't think you buy one out of the box.
Well, the thing is, there are a lot of ways to protect your data. There is LLMs which can run on local machines too, if you really want it. So there are options there.
Okay. Somebody's asking if your book's going to be available through Quality Press or Amazon.
Amazon, yes.
Okay, good.
So it's already on Amazon. But again, it'll be out, I think, next week, if I'm not mistaken.
Somebody else is asking if you have a special AI prompt that you use to focus answers more on lean or quality topics as opposed to just being general.
Not necessary. If you look at Quincy, it does a good job.
Right.
So there is no specific tool. ASQ already has that. It's okay. I mean, it's evolving, right? New models will come out. You'll be able to kind of, again, don't focus on the tool. Focus on what we are trying to get out of it. That's the key to. There'll be, already like the AI tools are way beyond what you can even think of right now. Every day you're releasing brand new tools.
Yes. Okay. I've got a link to Quincy. I don't know if everybody's aware of it or not. And It was trained exclusively on some ASQ content. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I was a little bit involved with tweaking it, basically put it through its paces, and then the developers would take that feedback and go from there.
I'm also putting a post to a link to my recent article on Forbes, which is called Superconscious Leader. It talks a little bit about AI. So anyone interested can take a look at that.
So it looks like this Quincy link is going to be big and ugly, which is weird because for some reason I can't seem to copy it directly. Let me try that again. There we are. So if you haven't looked at Quincy yet, it's within the lean and quality realm. It's pretty decent. So I would recommend that people check it out, especially if you're a member, because at least as of now, you get access to it. And apparently they're providing access to non-members for a little while.
Yeah. I think there is a question on change management. So change management will have to be a very different approach. The change management will have to start at the leadership level going forward, because the leaders themselves are very apprehensive of AI. There is a lot of unknowns with AI, so they're going to be very skeptical of any change. And if the leaders are not sure, the implementation, the adaptability will be very slow. So there has to be, as I said, you'll have to be very adaptable. Always, AI is shifting every day. So companies which are more adaptable, which are able to use AI as needed. Okay, it's not like, oh, I know this tool, so I'm going to put it in. When you use AI as needed, and I've talked a little bit about that in my podcast, mention is, the ocean, AI is an ocean. Take that glass of water, right? Whatever you need right now is in your hand. And when that's over, you take the next glass. So that's how you use AI. You cannot just try to take the whole thing at once.
Yes. So somebody asked a question, what does accountability look like when AI agents make mistakes?
Accountability will be, when you program something and human beings are programming it, it is going to be, so human in the loop is going to be very important, where we have someone who's looking at that. So especially the initial stages before you're absolutely sure, you will need to train that model well. And even after you train it, as new data comes in, if it's corrupt data, there is a possibility it will make a mistake. That's why the key thing is human in the loop is very critical. That's why humanistic approach to AI is the key. Good questions, great questions, in fact.
Hey, I can tell you, in terms of personal productivity, AI has helped me out a lot. It used to take me hours. I mean,
oh yeah,
for a 1 hour webinar, I would have to watch it 3 or 4 times. Instead, I've got a number of different tools that I use that really make it a lot easier to remove extraneous ums and ahs and dead spaces. Exactly. And that just saves a ton of time right there.
Absolutely. Huge benefit.
So I think the tools are still a little clunky because, like, if I get a voice recording, then I've got to transcribe it, then put it through chat, and then, there's a couple of steps. But I got to tell you, it's really fabulous.
It's very fabulous. Exactly. It just changes the game, and an equalizer too. Everyone can, someone wants to do an image, you're not a graphic artist, you still can get a really nice graphic out of it. Video creation, there are tools which can do, literally a Hollywood production type video for you in no time. So thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate your comments. Manny, if you can, take the chat, send me some questions, some comments, and maybe if you can have someone post it on LinkedIn would be great.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we can do that.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate Manny. As usual, you do a fantastic job, man. Keep it up. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate that for sure. Anyway, so folks, it is the top of the hour once again. And so here's what I'm going to say. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you called in from. We do appreciate you doing these things, because without you, we wouldn't have an LED webinar series. So
exactly.
Enjoy the rest of your day.